Antoni Gaudi was born in 1852 and died in 1926. He lived and worked in Spain, mostly in the city of Barcelona. His work was architecture. Do you think that architecture is art?
He had very poor health as a child and was often at a doctor's office, hospitals, or too sick to play with other children. He had something called rheumatic fever. As an adult, he wasn't very social, maybe because of his childhood. His work was inspired by his passions in life, architecture, nature, and religion. But I think his work was also inspired by ice cream, candy, and sunsets. He often used recycled materials. He loved to use broken pieces of tile that others threw away as trash in his mosaics. He also often used a method called trial and error. He didn't know if it would work until he tried it, and if it didn't work, he would try something else.
Gaudi got his college degree in architecture in 1878. When he was given his diploma, one of his teachers said, "We awarded the diploma to either a fool, a madman, or a genius. Only time will tell." Gaudi was highly criticized, and so was his work. People often said he was a God lover with bad taste and a madman. Even after his death, the famous artist Picasso said that his work was some of the ugliest things he's ever seen. Do you think that Gaudi cared what other people thought? Do you think that he would have continued to make the most brilliant and famous buildings if he listened to all the negativity? Gaudi never married and never had any children. He spent time with his family and friends and was obsessed with his work. So much so that he sometimes neglected his own appearance. He would have long periods of time while he was working that he would dress in old, worn-out suits. He had an unkempt, long beard and was often mistaken for a beggar or a homeless person. He suffered tragedy as an adult, where during a 10-year span he got tuberculosis, his niece Rosa died, his best friend and collaborator died, a close friend and bishop of his church died, and another friend and patron died. After that, he only worked on the church that he was commissioned for, starting in 1915. That church was called the Sagrada Familia. He said, "My good friends are dead. I have no family and no clients, no fortune, nor anything else. Now I can dedicate myself entirely to the church." He dedicated the last 12 years of his life to working only on the Sagrada Familia. He said that it was like serving God through architecture.
In 1926, he was taking his daily walk to church to pray when he was run over by a tram, also called a trolley or a streetcar. People thought he was a homeless man, maybe because of the way he dressed, so he did not get medical attention right away. He was overlooked. Eventually, someone put him in a taxi to the hospital, where he got a basic medical care. The chaplain of Sagrada Familia recognized him and pushed for him to get the best medical care. However, it was too late, and Gaudi died the next day. Do you think that if people knew he was famous, that he would have been rushed to the hospital and given the better medical care? Hundreds of people came out to the Sagrada Familia to celebrate his life. Gaudi was never able to finish the Sagrada Familia. Another architect took over the project, and it was not expected to be completed until 2026. It is a 3D model of a house. I built it all on my own, and I drew the front side of it with this paper, and then I built walls, and I put stuff inside of the house. See, if you look closely, there's a little TV right here, and then there's a couch right here. And then all the way back here, right here, you guys see it? This is a bed for the human, and this is the little girl right here.
Perfect. What did you make the house out of?
I made it out of paper and pencil and tape.
And if it was a real life house, what would you make it out of?
Cookies and candy.
Perfect.
Hi, I made this house, and I made it out of paper and pencil. I made this little book right here with a bunch of like random piano notes and cool pieces of paper. Then I made this girl, and her mask is made out of the same material that I used here, just a bunch of paper and some cool different design on there. And then I have this kind of weird sleeping bag with a bunch of cool things right there. And then I think if I had made this out of real things, out of a real house, I'd use concrete, cement, and I'd use piano pages from a book, and I'd use a bunch of weird designs from people, like these, or I'd make up my own. And then for my windows, as you can see here, I'd probably use piano notes as curtains, and then I just have a regular window.
Can you tell us about your structure?
So this is the human, and I cutted it with paper really hard, and then learned how to with this house. So it was like that, and then I had to go like that. The idea to do it like that, like to go like a big tent, and that's a little doorway that you can go in. That's kind of not big, but it's too small for a little, so it goes like that. Stepping a little, so bye.
Well, what did you make the tent out of?
I made it out of paper.
And if you were to make it in real life, what would you make it out of?
Cookies, gingerbread cookies.
Gingerbread cookies.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Hi, my name is Aiden Henderson, and this is what I built. So these are the spikes that keep the bad guys away. I drew them by and cut them out, and those are just like the squirrely things that if you look into them, they'll shoot lasers at you, and the dots, those are just cool decorations. And I made it 3D. It took a long time to make it like this. And I opened the door too. The door I can open. And I'm also gonna make more things. Okay, bye.